Hello class, and welcome to FNAF-ology 101. My name is Professor Petal. Please open your textbooks to FNAF World. Today's video is going to be an analysis of the character loading screens and minor character dialogue in FNAF World. There's not as much lore to be found here as, say, Ultimate Custom Night's voice lines, but there are some interesting implications. I'm actually going to save Adventure Fredbear, Glitch Bear, and Spooky Eyes' dialogues for another video, so look forward to part 2 where we dive into the real lore of this game. In the meantime, this video is more for funsies, and I haven't seen anyone else do a video like this for FNAF World, so let's get into it. To start off with, FNAF World is a spin-off RPG in the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise. If you're unfamiliar with FNAF World, it's quite an adventure. It's a cutesy, lighthearted game with fun fighting mechanics and plenty of memes. It was poorly received when it was first released, many even thinking it had single-handedly ended the franchise. Obviously, it didn't, but people weren't fans of the lighthearted and cute style, as a lot of FNAF fans were/are in it for the horror element of the franchise. FNAF World appears to be well-liked nowadays, which is nice because it really is quite funny. Now, the confusing part about FNAF World is its canonicity status. Scott said this about FNAF World in his first interview with Dawko.
You know, I should have just done something that was obviously for fun and not tried to somehow tie it in to a canon game.
So, even though Scott may regret tying FNAF World into the game's continuity, it is indeed confirmed to be at least partially canon. Whatever that means. FNAF World is incredibly meta. Scott himself is a final boss. They break the fourth wall constantly, there's memes and references to things like Sonic.exe, etc. And that's the PC game. The mobile version is even more chaotic. So it's pretty unlikely that the majority of FNAF is real, or even related to the game's universe. However, there is lore to be gleaned from this beautiful disaster, and we're gonna uncover some of it today. FNAF World has an impressive roster of 48 playable characters following the Halloween update. My god. Okay, let's get into the loading screens of the playable characters first, then we'll take a look at some minor character dialogue in the game. Freddy Fazbear. Back to basics. I could just say yeah, okay to this, but instead, let's start this video off right by going down an unwithered conspiracy rabbit hole. Let's look at the designs of the FNAF 1 classics, the FNAF 2 Wizards, and the FNAF World versions. Yup. Buttons. Back to basics, you say? As in, back to the original designs? Unwithered truthers rejoice. More seriously, the week before, I seriously cannot go a single video without mentioning the week before, huh? Anyway, it tells us the reason for the different designs in FNAF 1 and 2 really just come from interchangeable animatronic shell parts. There are several Freddy heads here. They're old designs. Some of them don't have eyebrows, or have a slightly different shape. Vintage character posters for Chica, Freddy, and Bonnie. So, technically, the unwithered theory is both true and untrue. And technically, we have a canon unwithered design, although it's cutified. Bonnie. Jammin'. Note the lack of apostrophe here, which tells us... No, I'm kidding. I don't have anything to say about this one. Chica. Let's eat. Foxy. Back in order. Foxy appears to be fixed here, back in order. Note there's no tears in his chest like we see on FNAF 1 and 2's Foxy's. So we can assume, like Freddy, this is Foxy in his original unwithered state before any damage. But his pants are still raggedy, and his legs and one hand have visible endoskeleton. So I guess that was the original design. From an in-universe technical view, I bet Foxy's gimmick of running into the party rooms would have worn down the fur on his legs quickly, so they just left it off. Not sure about the hand. Indo 01, because look at him. I mean, yeah, look at him. Fun fact, Indo-01 was the first animatronic to be FNAF Worldified on Scott's website. Golden Freddy, it's me. Another instance of "it's me" being Golden Freddy's catchphrase, despite other animatronics using it as well. 10 years later, and we still have no idea exactly what it means. It being the crying child talking to Mike was disproven in the week before, since it's said many times to Ralph by every animatronic at some point or another. If everyone says it, folks have theorized it's souls trying to hold on to their identity, or trying to communicate that they're still conscious. It's me, Susie. It's me, Jeremy, Gabriel, Fritz. Why doesn't anyone recognize me? Why won't anyone help me? Oof, sorry. Sometimes I forget this silly bear game is about murdered, lost souls of children. The confusing part about this theory is why Golden Freddy is so much more vocal about it than anyone else. What makes them more aware? What makes them never mind, we can't say that anymore. Anyway, I think it's a good connection to Golden Freddy being the one to create Ultimate Custom Night. Golden Freddy is somehow different from the others, more awake, more powerful, singled out, the one you shouldn't have killed. As for why or how they're more powerful, it could be that their more gruesome death of being springlocked produced more agony than the rest of the MCI, giving them more power. What do you think? Leave your own theories in the comments. Toy Freddy. Still Freddy, but shiny. Toy Bonnie. Something new. Toy Chica. Let's party. You know, I wonder why they changed OG Chica's catchphrase of "let's eat" to "let's party, then changed it back again for FNAF 1 and Glamrock Chica. Well, for FNAF 1 they were just reusing the old animatronics, and the Pizzaplex probably just used the original because it was the original. Okay, never mind, I solved my own question. Mangle. Kids can be so cruel. Please tell me how toddlers can tear Mangle apart with their bare hands for funsies, but a night guard can't survive? Buddy, have you tried fighting back? Funtime Foxy. It wasn't meant to last. I mentioned this in a previous video, but I think this is telling us pretty point blank that pre-mangled Mangle was Funtime Foxy, or a prototype of the Funtime Foxy we see in Sister Location. Note the hook hand here. Mangle has a hook, but Funtime Foxy doesn't. And the "wasn't meant to last" text seems pretty obviously referring to Mangle's mangling. This suggests Acton Robotics was the one who created the toy animatronics, and that the Funtimes could have been created in the same era as FNAF 2. Balloon Boy. Everyone's favorite. Don't get me started on how puntable this little gremlin is. JJ. Because one wasn't enough. Marionette. Think outside the box. Indo-02. Not as cute, but more useful. This is just referencing in-game mechanic usefulness. I don't think there's any lore to be squeezed out here. Withered Freddy. Because we needed one more. Withered Bonnie. Look into my eye. Why is it eye singular? He is equally eyeless on both sides. What does this mean? One of his attacks is eye beam, but that still doesn't answer why. I'm surprised it's not a faceless joke like all of his Ultimate Custom Night voice lines. Is this a pop culture reference I'm overlooking? Please enlighten me if so. Withered Chica. What happened to Chica? What's with the emphasis on what happened to just Chica? None of the other Withered descriptions are like this. She's not even the most damaged of the Withereds. Bonnie is. Is it perhaps referencing the drastic change from her FNAF 1 design? Her design difference is the most shocking. In which case, I agree. What did happen to Chica? Withered Foxy. Still Foxy, but more Yarg. Shadow Freddy. I will eat your soul. There's been some debate on whether Shadow Freddy is a good or bad guy, as well as who, if anyone, possesses him. The Ultimate Guide suggests he's good, leading children to their killer for the purpose of taking him down instead of leading them to their dismantling. The Ultimate Guide is a questionable source of information, though. This FNAF World description seems pretty evil. A lot of theorists believe Shadow Freddy is an agony creature, which goes along with the evil, soul-eating vibe here. Agony is a sort of counterpart to Remnant, which is linked to souls. Agony possession doesn't require a soul. Now, I personally believe Shadow Freddy and Shadow Bonnie are agony creatures from the MCI and DCI respectively, so this tracks for me. But it could just be a joke about how spooky he is. FNAF World is very meta after all. Say my name. No. Paper Pals. Huh? Oh, don't get me started on these guys. While I don't agree with game theory's connections to the clown dynamics equaling the third paper pal being the mimic, the fact that one of their attacks is called Mimic Ball isn't helpful. I really doubt the mimic existed as a concept in 2014 when FNAF 2 was released. But if not the mimic, who is that little clown guy? My guess is Balloon Boy. Why he's grouped with Bonnie and Freddy, who might be Shadow Bonnie and Shadow Freddy? Probably because he causes me agony equal to the MCI and DCI combined. Sorry. The real reason is probably just cause. Crying child. Still sad. Not about the loading screen text, but interestingly enough, this character briefly gains color while attacking, and it's not the coloration of the crying child. The green shirt, blue pants combo actually pops up a lot, but they most resemble the children from Take Cake to the Children. It appears to be the default child sprite, not anyone in particular. Purple guy. I take 10 seconds to draw. You may have seen a different FNAF World quote attributed to this guy. Don't confuse me with the actual purple guy. I'm just a game sprite. It's not his loading screen, but he does say this in the game. It actually lines up with the comment I just made on the previous character. Same as the crying child in FNAF World isn't linked to any in-game child, purple guy isn't himself either. Springtrap. Cuter in person, still a killer. Is this shaming the Springtrap simps? Phantom Freddy, just taking a stroll. In reference to this, does this confirm he has both legs and was just limping for fun? Perhaps it's just a design choice for this sprite. Phantom Chica, stop calling me a watermelon. Phantom Foxy, because you can never have too much Foxy. Correct. Phantom Mangle, because he needed to be weirder. Because she needed to be weirder. I don't want to hear a single peep about the mangled gender debates. We already got an answer. It's yes. Fun fact, originally there was only the he loading screen, but the alternate she screen was added later when people began using this to argue about Mangle's gender. Phantom Balloon Boy, because reasons. I wish terrible things upon every iteration of this menace. Phantom Marionette, put it back in the box. Nightmare Freddy, the more the merrier. Nightmare Bonnie, let's get mean. Nightmare Chica, making you a sandwich. Nightmare Foxy, out of order since FNAF 1. This is probably just a meta commentary on how Foxy has never been functional in-universe during any of the games we play. But it's an odd comment to link to Nightmare Foxy. Nightmare Foxy doesn't have any references to being out of order in FNAF 4 that I know of. And this universe's regular Foxy is specifically noted as in order. You might chalk it up to Scott running out of things to say about Foxy. I'll put this one in the FNAF World meta shenanigans box for now. Plush Trap, because the world needed a plush version. Speedrun of characters I don't have anything to say about. Nightmare Fredbear, getting down to business. Nightmare, this is why you wake up. Jacko Chica, feeling empty inside. Jacko Bonnie, not canon, but still here. Nightmare Young, I'm taller in person. Nightmare Balloon Boy, some things can't be made cute. Fredbear, where it all started. Spring Bonnie, male, female, it's a rabbit, who cares? Virtue Freddy, blink and you'll miss him. Who is this? The only non-playable character with a loading screen who appears for 1 second when you use the Mimic Ball attack? For my own sanity, I'll assume it's just a strange FNAF Worldism and has no external meaning or consequence. Indoplush, because character quota. Despite the apparent need for character quota making Scott create new characters that only exist in FNAF World, there are a few characters from past games that didn't make it in. Withered Golden Freddy and Nightmare Mangle are for some reason not present, despite the other Withereds and Nightmare animatronics being here. Phew, that concludes the character loading screens analysis. On to dialogue. Let's go over some minor character dialogue in FNAF World. Fredbear and Glitchbear will be covered in a different video. I'm also going to skip anything I've deemed not worth analyzing, like that god-awful rainbow. A lot of it is just memes or references with no lore meaning, like how Foxy.exe is just a Sonic.exe spoof. And I'm tired of Chica's voice.
You won't get tired of my voice, will you?
If I leave out anything that you think is important, please let me know in the comments. Desk man. What are you doing here? I'm busy. It wasn't supposed to be like this. Now it's all a mess. Of course now there is only one thing to do. Come back later and maybe I will tell you more. I think Desk Man is probably Scott's self-insert vent character and also a teaser for Sister Location. The only one thing to do after the bad reception of FNAF World was to make another game. It's a vicious cycle, you know? But then most things in life are. The pendulum swings one way, then it swings the other. Now we turn to darkness. Something terrible is coming. Come back later. Maybe I will tell you more. Scott wanted to create FNAF World as a fun, lighter game, but people didn't like that. FNAF fans were in it for the spooky, the gory, the horror. So we turned to darkness with Sister Location. I'm impressed. What are you doing here? Can't you see I'm busy? You deactivated my games? I didn't know what else to do. I don't want to disappoint, but my mind isn't right. I've made something terrible. Her name is Baby. It is too late to deactivate her. I'm sorry.
The show will begin momentarily. Everyone, please stay in your seats.
I do find it interesting that Desk Man calls Baby terrible. Is this Scott's meta commentary on how he thinks the game's Sister Location is terrible, but it's too late to stop? Does the death of Desk Man represent the perceived death of the series, which was what a lot of people were saying when FNAF World came out? I don't see how it could be an in-universe character. William was the one who created Baby, and he doesn't die like that. It could be an employee, a technician who physically built Baby, but the rest of his dialogue doesn't make sense if he's a one-off, unimportant character who's never seen again. Old Man Consequences. I'm sorry to say that you have gone too deep into the code. There is no way back out. My name is Old Man Consequences. Come have a seat and let's fish for a while. You have nowhere else to go. Oh, Old Man Consequences, you enigma of a character. Is it Henry? Mike? No one? We can't chalk him up to another silly FNAF Worldism since he reappears as an important character in Ultimate Custom Night. In fact, you can get the Old Man Consequence ending trophy in FNAF World by completing his minigame in Ultimate Custom Night. How does the one you should not have killed know about Old Man Consequences anyway? How are they linked to FNAF World? Or is Old Man Consequences there of his own accord? In FNAF World, he is the consequence of going too far down into the code. He doesn't help you, but he doesn't hurt you either. Is he trapped down there too? How are you transported to the 4th layer of code in FNAF World from Ultimate Custom Night? Or is it an Old Man Consequences pocket dimension that can be accessed from anywhere? I have so many questions. In Ultimate Custom Night, Old Man Consequences doesn't seem to bear any consequences at all. He simply asks the character to rest. Come and sit with me for a while. Leave the demon to his demons. Rest your own soul. There is nothing else. Is the Fredbear sprite here the same as who it was in FNAF World? Or is that just the only form someone can take when visiting Old Man Consequences? I have no solutions, only questions. Perhaps I'll make an Old Man Consequences video if I ever find the answers. Well, here's one question possibly answered. In FNAF World, if you drown yourself in the lake, the Fredbear sprite will fall down a final layer of code for a while until this screen is shown. Theories for what this is include Mike with his arms around Elizabeth and the crying child watching TV, and Angel, or my new favorite, Scott and his sons. Shout out to a 7-year-old Reddit comment from r/senior_artsy for that one. They suggest by going down a final level into the code, we get a glimpse into the outside real world. FNAF World's penchant for being meta makes this entirely possible in my mind. This image being titled Happiest Day adds a wholesome note to it, if so. There's literally no lore in the mobile version, but my god is it funny. so you'll have to wait for the next video if you're just here for the lore. Or you can stick around to hear Fredbear talk about heavy armor Gatling guns. In the interest of not boring you with the repeated dialogue from the PC game, I've cut down this section to just the parts unique to the mobile port. Welcome back to FNAF World, the game that almost single-handedly destroyed the FNAF franchise. Remember how I told you there was an important task for you to accomplish? The problem is with Anim Dude. He still thinks that he's super tough as the final boss. It's time for a reality check. Take this chump stick. You'll need to find Anim Dude and hit him in the head with it. Hey, do you want to build a snowman? Haha, just kidding. I already made one, and I gave him 2 heavy armor Gatling guns. You've reached Lily Gear Lake. From here, I don't know where your adventure will take you. Actually, that's not true. It will take you to a graveyard, then to a carnival, then to some zany minigames. I can hear Anim Dude laughing from here. You need to hurry. It's like nails on a chalkboard. You need to beat that fool upside the head with the chump stick. Everything depends on it. I mean, he's not even the final boss anymore. He's been replaced with a rainbow. How humiliating. Don't get lost. Let the chump stick guide you. There, are you happy now? Enjoying the freak show? Boogie boogie boogie. I'm so creepy in 8-bit. Boogie boogie boogie. It's scary 8-bit Fredbear again. When someone visits my house and I want them to go away, I just answer the door like this. I'm like, boo, and they're like, whoa, and I'm like, yeah. One time I answered the door to some trick-or-treaters like this. They were like, trick or treat, and I was like, I'll eat your soul. And they ran away screaming and crying. Man, good times. So one time I mailed myself in a box to my grandmother looking like this. I jumped out and was like, boo. Yeah, rip. Okay, I know I said there was no lore here, but I noticed something interesting. Glitchbear keeps saying how he'll do things looking like this, like he can change forms. Well, you figure his other form would be regular Fredbear, but their characters are so at odds with each other, that can't be. So then, who is Glitchbear when he's not Glitchbear? Fun fact, did you know that if you took out all of a person's blood vessels and lined them up end to end in a straight line, that person would die? It's true, but what a mess, am I right? Find the clock, set it back an hour. Daylight savings tonight. But don't check the tree in the back corner. That's everyone's business tree. But yeah, how's it working on mobile so far? Pretty good port, I think. Sound effects are a little screwy though. I once knew this guy who would put ketchup, mustard, and mayonnaise all on the same plate together. Then he would stir them up into an orange goo. People like that are the real monsters. Attacking the game's security system will not accomplish anything. I take it back. It does accomplish something. You get to fight a really cool metal owl. I will tell you a secret. There are powerful chips that can only be attained by breaking the game, the red chests. There are objects you can press against, and it will break your collision detection. One is a yellow bird on a tree stump. Another is a gravestone. Wait, you probably already knew about all of that, didn't you? But did you know that I can touch my nose with my tongue? Both of them. Yeah, you didn't know that. Ah yes, your gift. You may come lay it at my feet. Ouch! What did you just hit me with? A chump stick? Is this a joke? That makes me angrier than when people misuse an apostrophe. You only use an apostrophe in it's when you mean it is. Amusingly, Scott misspells apostrophe in his rant about grammar. Okay, alright. I get it. At least tell me you beat me legit and didn't use one of the OP Halloween characters. I mean, I'm melting, what a world! But seriously, thanks for playing. I hope you enjoyed the port. I mean, it burns! I see a light at the end of the tunnel. I wonder if the Fazburger down the street is hiring. You've been through a lot. I am ready to reveal myself. You see, I've been there all along. It was me. I caused the bite of 87. That's right, mind blown. It all makes sense when you think about it. All hail BounceBot. And with that shocking and totally true revelation, I will end this video. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll be back with more theories and the rest of FNAF World's story next time. My name is Professor Petal, and this concludes today's session of FNAF-ology 101. Class dismissed.